Alright, you just bought an iPhone 16 and you need a case now. Check out these top cases that I reviewed on the channel. Let's get into it. Taking a look at the Crave dual guard case for the iPhone 16. Thanks to Crave for sending this case over for the video. The Crave cases are known for their sleek profile while maintaining some good protection for smartphones. The dual guard case that I have here today is composed of two pieces, an inner, softer TPU layer and a harder outer layer or TPC casing. The inner layer, like I said, is very soft. This is going to be providing that cushioning factor when the phone is dropped. I know a lot of people are typically concerned about the interior part of smartphone cases. The soft TPU here is definitely not going to scratch the iPhone 16. In fact, it'll cradle or hold it very nice in terms of protection, and it's very easy to remove when you need to clean the phone as well, as long as you have the back plate removed. There's a good amount of material all around the phone, and crucially, this TPU material is actually extending up past the height of the glass of the iPhone 16. This will help with screen protection during flat surface drop scenarios. That little bit of material is actually going to make it so the glass of the screen won't directly impact the floor or a sidewalk, for example. The reason for that is because the case is always going to be just that little bit higher than the glass, so the case will actually make the initial impact and absorb and redistribute those impact forces. This is definitely a nice screen protection feature to have, so I'm glad to see it. In looking at the outer or harder shell for this case, it's relatively rigid, and it really complements that inner, softer TPU layer well, in my opinion. The outside of the inner TPU layer is molded to pretty much exactly perfectly fit this outer layer on it. As for the outer shell, the entire backing and the sides of it are textured. I like this feature. It's definitely going to help with wet and dry grip in my opinion. As for the camera protection strategy, we have the standard camera cutout design with a built-up bezel, similarly to how the front side of the phone is protected by the bezel that the case forms. The cameras and the camera lenses are going to be protected by this bezel. Since this is taller than the height of the camera lenses, and the cameras themselves obviously, will never come into contact with a flat surface when the phone is dropped. In terms of features, this case does have support for magnetic accessories. The magnet strength on this case was decent. I really like these magnets for the ring and car mount accessory options. Super handy. In terms of the button feel, everything was good there. As you probably know, all of the iPhone 16 smartphones now have the camera control button as well. Crave opted not to cover up the factory button here, instead building the case frame around it with an indentation. This will definitely allow you to have accuracy with the gesturing, and it obviously doesn't add any bulk to the case. Crave does offer a lifetime warranty on their cases, which is also nice. I would say that if you're into thinner style cases like this, because you're more active with your iPhone, and you don't like that extra bulk from the bigger style of cases, but you still want some decent protection, the dual guard case from Crave is a solid option for your iPhone 16. Like a Poetic Revolution case for the iPhone 16. Thanks to Poetic for sending this case over for us to take a look at. The Revolution case series from Poetic is known for providing some solid smartphone protection. The Revolution series, specifically for the iPhone 16, features two different front frame options. One frame is an open frame, if you just don't want a screen protector, but they also include another frame option which utilizes a built-in screen protector. The screen protector that they're including here is a decent thickness, and it should hold up quite well over the years that you have your iPhone 16. This case also features a raised bezel on the screen side of the case with both frame options, which will help protect your screen during flat surface drop scenarios. The bezel ensures that only the case will actually make direct impact with the ground in a flat surface drop scenario, like your floor, the sidewalk, or the street, because the bezel in the case is about 2 millimeters taller than the glass all around the perimeter of your iPhone 16. The case also provides some solid corner protection. The corners are a little bit oversized and they are reinforced. There was actually very little to no flex when I tried pushing on the corners from the outside of the case. In general, I'm a huge fan of the dual layer interlocking cases like this one. This case in particular forms a really strong connection. It was actually almost difficult to remove the frame options from the main rear case body. They actually interlock that tightly. As for the main rear case body, it was very strong and also very rigid. Definitely what you want to see in terms of protection. No matter what angle you drop your phone, essentially this case is not going to come apart, which is good. If you like the built-in screen protector that comes with this case, you actually have a very easy, guaranteed fit screen protector that's really bundled right into the price for this case, and I think that definitely amps up the value quite a bit. As for the back side of the case, we do have a sliding and locking camera door for protecting those cameras and the camera lenses. The door will click or lock into place, and you can open it or shut it, which is nice. The door itself is a good thickness, and the case naturally raises the outer surface level just past the camera lenses anyways, so we definitely have some solid camera protection here. This case also comes with a built-in kickstand, which is definitely a nice feature when I'm trying to watch videos at work, or if I'm just in the kitchen making a snack. Towards the bottom of this case, we have a USB-C protection flap cover. This is definitely a good addition to the case. It's going to help keep that port clean and operating normally for the life of the phone. Dead data or charging ports are just no fun, and we all know somebody or had that experience ourselves. As you probably already know, all of the iPhone 16 series of smartphones come with the new camera control or action button. Poetic seems to have completely indented the case in order to get your finger or thumb exactly to that button. The casing around the camera button does appear to be reinforced or at least somewhat stiff, which is good for protection around that area. As for the rest of the buttons, the clickiness is good, and in general, this case fit on my model iPhone very well. The case is about a medium thickness in my opinion. It's definitely not winning any awards for its slimness, but I really don't feel like it's overly bulky, even though we have some solid protection. If you're looking for some good protection for your iPhone 16 in terms of having a bundled screen protector, a solid overall case, and a camera door for those cameras, this is definitely going to be a case that I would recommend to you. I'll have an affiliate link in the description below if you want to learn more about this case or pick up one of these for your iPhone 16. I would appreciate it if you dropped a like on this video if you got anything out of it. That tells YouTube to share this video with other iPhone 16 owners who are researching case options. If you're into smartphones and mobile tech stuff, I would definitely say get subscribed to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. Until next time, stay charged up. Look at the Frost Black Unicorn Beetle Mag case for the iPhone 16. Thanks to Supcase for sending this one over for the video. The UB Mag case for the iPhone 16 is a slimmer and more sleek type of case versus the beefier UB Pro cases that you might have seen before. We are trading in just a little bit of that overbuilt protection in order to keep the profile of the phone a little bit slimmer, but we are still getting some excellent protection here, as Supcase has drop tested this case all the way up to 15 feet, which I think is excellent. As for the corner protection, they're made out of TPU, and they feature an air cushion design. There's just a little bit of an air pocket inside of the corners, which will help the case absorb and redistribute those impact forces when you drop your phone and it lands on the corner. This should help prevent spiderweb cracking from the corners. As for the bumper that goes all along the perimeter of the phone, the sides, the top, and the bottom are a decent thickness. They've got a pretty good amount of strength. When I was pushing and pulling on them in different areas, the case didn't flex too much. As for the fitment, the case fit relatively well on my model iPhone. I was pretty happy with it. In terms of screen protection, this case does offer some screen protection in the form of a bezel on the front side of the phone. The bezel is essentially extra material that extends up past the height of the screen of the iPhone. This is actually a super important case protection feature, because when you drop your phone on a really hard surface, something like a tile floor in a kitchen or a concrete basement floor, or even outside on a sidewalk or the street, you really do not want any of your glass coming into direct contact with any of those surfaces. It's probably going to end up resulting in a lot of cracking. Since this case implements a bezel all along the perimeter of the phone, that ensures that the glass is not going to make contact with the ground in these flat surface drop scenarios. The case will actually make that impact. The TPU material that the case is built out of is definitely going to help soften that blow. Similarly to the way the corners are designed, that TPU on the bezel is definitely going to absorb and redistribute those impact forces, which should hopefully help save your iPhone. In looking at the back side of this case, we have some good protection here. We have a bezel that's built up around the camera cutout region, and that bezel is about 1.7 millimeters taller than the camera lens, which is really going to help prevent fall damage on flat surfaces. This case also supports MagSafe accessories. I almost always use a magnetic ring on almost all of my phones, either just to fidget with or to help increase my grip while I'm actually holding on to the phone. These MagSafe accessories are also really handy for mounting your phone in the car when you're using whatever Maps app that you use in your daily life. The magnet on this case actually doubles as a kickstand too, which is kind of nice. I frequently prop my phone up on its kickstand when I'm in the kitchen or the office so I can watch some videos. This case is essentially completely made of the softer to the touch TPU material that a lot of us are familiar with. Virtually none of this case is the harder plastic, and you won't get that particular hard plastic feeling from TPE with this case, if that matters to you. Since this case isn't too thick, it looks like wireless charging compatibility should be very good. I wouldn't think you'd have an issue on most wireless chargers with this case. So I would say that overall, this is a very solid case for the iPhone 16. I think we're getting some good protection here with some nice features, and the pricing is relatively competitive in the segment of cases for the iPhone 16. If you want to pick up one of these UB Mag cases, or any other MagSafe accessories for your iPhone, head down to the description and I'll have some affiliate links for you to check out. When people are searching for videos, the recommendations that YouTube hands out are definitely, at least in part, generated by the amount of likes that videos get. If you got any value out of this one, I would definitely appreciate it if you could smash that like button. And of course, if you're into smartphone and mobile tech videos like this one, definitely get subscribed to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. Until next time, stay charged up. At the Supcase UB Mag XT case for the iPhone 16. Thanks to Supcase for sending this one over for us to take a look at. The Mag XT case is one of the more protective type of cases that you'll be able to find for the iPhone 16 series of smartphones. We have some really solid reinforced corners here that have a good amount of TPU and polycarbonate material to help avert corner damage. The corners also feature an air cushion design, so basically they have a small amount of air in the middle, which should help with absorbing and redistributing those impact forces when you drop your phone. As for the main screen protection, this case comes equipped with a bezel that goes all around the perimeter of the front side of the phone. The bezel is essentially extra material in the case that extends up past the height of the glass on the screen side of the phone. We've got a pretty good amount of clearance here, which is super important for protecting your screen. When you drop your phone on flat surfaces that are really hard, like the concrete in your basement, tile floors in a kitchen, or even outside on a sidewalk, you 100% do not want any part of that glass actually making that initial impact with the ground. This bezel will actually protect you from that because it extends up past the height of the screen, so when it lands on a flat surface like one of the ones that I mentioned, the bezel will actually take the brunt of those impact forces, absorbing and redistributing that, which should hopefully help save the glass on your iPhone. As for the structure of the case in general, it's relatively rigid. The sides, the top, and the bottom bumpers of the case were able to stand up to a decent amount of pressure when I was pushing and pulling and trying to see how strong the case was in general. In looking at the back side of the case, we have a sleeker looking, smooth design, and I really think this one looks slick in the black color. I like that Supcase was able to achieve this aesthetic, but included some really good, nice grippy sections on the side of the case. That's definitely going to help increase your overall grip while handling your iPhone. We can also see that this case is MagSafe compatible. The magnet definitely had some good strength to it. I was able to shake the phone around with my magnetic ring attached, and it did not fall off. These are super handy on cases. I really like having that magnetic ring in order to help increase my grip or the positioning of my hand on the phone while I'm using it, and it's super handy to mount the phone in a car, especially if you're using the Maps app. As for the camera protection strategy, the cameras and the lenses are really well protected here in this case. You can see that we have a relatively deep bezel that will help protect those cameras and lenses from any flat surface drop scenario, but we also have a camera door which clicks into place. This camera door is kind of interesting. It's definitely thicker, it's got a nice felt feeling on it, but it actually also doubles as a kickstand. I did notice that this camera door does require a little bit more force in order to actually move, but it's nothing that's too hard to overcome. But that's actually important because you don't want the camera door to swing open when your phone goes tumbling, and if you're using your phone on its side with the kickstand out or the camera door out, you definitely don't want it to fall over. As for the actual drop testing that Upcase did, they actually drop tested the iPhone 16 in this case up to 20 feet. Which should be plenty for anybody. That really just speaks to the quality design of this case. Another thing that I liked about the case is that we do have the dust cover for the USB-C port. That's definitely going to help keep the port clean and working well over the life of the phone. Overall, I would say that this is a relatively solid case option for the iPhone 16. If you really need protection, but you still want some features and some style, this is definitely going to be a price competitive option in my opinion. If you want to pick up one of these Mag XT cases for the iPhone 16, I'll have an affiliate link in the description below, so definitely head down there and check that out. I would appreciate it a bunch if you got any value out of this video if you dropped a like on the video. That lets YouTube know to share this video with other iPhone 16 owners who are researching cases. Smartphones and mobile tech are what I cover here. If you're into that kind of thing, get subscribed to the channel and then ring that bell for notifications. Until next time, stay charged up. Look at the Iaz Armor Box case for the iPhone 16. Thanks to Iaz for sending this case over for the video. If the Armor Box series of cases is new to you, these are generally speaking some beefy cases. They're well protected and they'll definitely look after your smartphone. This case has a strong and rigid build with an oversized corner protection strategy and beefy TPU bumpers all along the sides, the top, and the bottom of the case. This case is kind of built like a tank for those of you who really want to protect your phone. Iaz has actually drop tested this case up to 20 feet, which is a lot of feet to drop a phone, so that should cover pretty much everybody. This case does support the new camera control button, which is a handy feature on the iPhone 16 series. The implementation on this case utilizes 46 copper conductors to allow seamless functionality of the button and the gesturing while still protecting the phone body, which is great to see. As we can see while I unbox the case, this case is a dual layer interlocking type of case. We have a front frame with a built-in screen protector that perfectly mates to the main rear case body. I find these types of cases to be some of the best value cases that you can purchase, and they also end up being some of the stronger cases. The screen protector that's built in has a pretty decent thickness. I think it's going to hold up well over the lifetime of the phone and the case. In addition to that, the actual front frame itself gives us a healthy sized bezel to further protect the screen. Bezels on the front side of cases are super important for protecting smartphone screens, because when you drop your smartphone on a hard, flat surface, something like a tile floor in your kitchen, maybe the concrete floor in your basement, or even a sidewalk or blacktop on the street, you really definitely do not want that glass actually touching any of those surfaces in a drop scenario. That's almost certainly going to end up cracking the glass. Since we have a bezel that's built into this case, the case is always going to make that initial impact, and it's going to absorb and redistribute those impact forces, which should hopefully help keep the glass in your iPhone 16 safe. And that's because when you drop your phone on a flat surface, the bezel is always going to make that impact first, and the glass should never actually touch. As I mentioned before, the sides, the top, and the bottom of this case are really strong. The TPU material is decently thick, and it holds its form relatively well, even when I put pressure on it. The main rear case body is also very strong. It's definitely going to be able to take quite a few drops on behalf of your iPhone 16. Since the Armor Box is a little bit of a bigger case, it's definitely going to increase the profile of your iPhone 16 a little bit. I don't really mind that because this eye-blazing case is definitely going to increase the protection factor, but as cases get a little bit bigger, it's crucial to make sure that you can still actually get a good grip on them. I really like that Iaz added these super grippy sections along the side of the phone. That's definitely going to increase dry and wet grip, which is something that I think people tend to overlook when they're looking at smartphone cases. As for the camera protection here, We have a camera cutout region, but there's actually a very deep bezel to accommodate the camera door, which also protects the cameras. The camera door itself is a decent thickness, and it has this nice felt material on the interior of it. The door requires a little bit of force to actually click it open and lock it shut, as well as move it back and forth. That's actually a really good quality of the camera door. You definitely don't want the door to swing open when you drop your phone, for example. And on this case, that camera door is also doubling as your kickstand. So you want your phone to be stable when you have it propped up if you're watching a video. This case does support MagSafe accessories. I'm a huge fan of those magnetic rings. They help increase grip, and sometimes they're just fun to fidget with. I also really prefer mounting my phone in my car on one of these MagSafe mounts. It's very handy. This case should allow for wireless charging on most wireless chargers, but it is possible that you might have to position or reposition it in order to get that charging session started, since it's a little bit of a bigger case. This case also protects the charge port with a flap cover. I really like the inclusion of a flap cover because it's definitely going to help protect that charge and data port over time. You don't want it to get messed up with dirt or dust or even liquid damage. Overall, I would say that the Armor Box case for the iPhone 16 is going to provide some solid protection. If you're looking for a case that's protection forward, this is definitely going to be it. It's also nice that this case has a couple of useful features, and it's good to know that the case is not going to break the bank. I would definitely recommend this case if you have an iPhone 16. I'll put some affiliate links in the description below if you want to pick one of these up, so head down there and check that out. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate it if you dropped a like on the video, as that tells YouTube to share this video with other iPhone 16 owners who are researching cases. If you're into smartphone and mobile tech stuff, get subscribed to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. Until next time, stay charged up. If you made it this far, or you just really wanted to see that last case review, thank you for watching throughout the video and supporting this channel. It all really helps out. I'll have affiliate links to every case and some accessories in the description below, so if you want to pick one of these up, definitely go down there and check them out. And to wrap up, do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, click that notify, and definitely if you do pick up one of these cases, leave me a comment in the section below. I'll definitely be curious to know. Until next time, stay charged up.